Right.
Hi.
Hi.
Welcome to the Serenity Podcast. That's who we are.
That's who we are.
I'm Beth. I'm Witty Knitting on Instagram, and I always say Ravelry, but I don't really do anything on there. So anyway, I'm Witty Knitting in the places.
Yep, and I'm Tracy. I am Phoenix Fire in the places. I'm Phoenix Fire _knits on Instagram. And I'm on Ravelry a little bit more now. I check in on things, but I don't know about March. We'll see. I'm on the classic Ravelry, so we'll see how that goes. I think that's it for the introductions. Don't we look cute today? We think we're wearing our last matching sweat. Well, we can do a rose cardigan one more, not rose, the comfort fade cardigan one more time, because I have one of those.
Oh yeah.
Yes. So we'll ask for some suggestions on what we should do next once we run out of completely matching knits.
If you could just whip up a Modulancho by Shayna Lyons Designs, then we could match.
Okay, we'll see. I don't know.
I mean, you knit pretty fast.
We have a lot of coordinating knits though. So I was saying we could do, like, she could do her night shift cowl because it's amazing. And I could do my shift D sweater, but not today because it's too hot and that thing weighs about 4 pounds. Or she could do wear her fade shawls, and I could do my so faded sweater or my fade shawl, even though that thing is also about 4 pounds. It's the biggest shawl I've ever knit. But today we are wearing Zweig. Zweig. Have you ever Googled how to say it?
No.
Well, do yourself a favor and do that. But it's Zweig by Caitlin Hunter, and Google has a really lovely pronunciation of it. Mine is knit in, all right, so it's a second time I'm giving a shout out to Cozy Colorworks. I really love them. The gray is Cozy Colorworks, and their skeins are so huge that my entire sweater is 2 skeins. The whole body of the sweater is 2 skeins of Cozy Colorworks. I had some left over. And the contrast color is Cat Sandwich. I don't remember which color, but I think it was a one-off. But love this sweater. I wear it a lot. I used to take it traveling when I used to travel. Back when I could travel, leave my home. What is yours knit in, Beth?
Well, first I have to say I love Cat Sandwich fibers. Oh my gosh.
Amazing.
I only have a couple skeins of her, and I'm like, just finished my coffee, so that's why it's working. I don't remember how I found her, but I found her like way at the beginning when her dyeing looked really different than it does now. And she sent like this a little packet of tea with the yarn, and I got obsessed with it. And it's this clipper. I don't know. You ever heard of it? Clipper tea.
I've never heard of that.
It was like that one was like some kind of a chai something. But now I'm like, I have to go on Amazon and buy this dang clipper tea all the time because of Cat Sandwich fibers.
And you have to buy Cat Sandwich all the time. I have a huge stash of Cat Sandwich. I hate to.
Really?
I hate to use it because a lot of them are colors that you just can't get again. A lot of them, like this one was an older color. I posted this on Instagram and she replied that she didn't even recognize this color because it was so old.
Oh my gosh.
I'm like, I don't know. Do I want to make socks out of it and then not be able to see it all the time? So I use her stuff a lot of times as a contrast to my color work. It's gorgeous.
Well, there's so many like fingering weight color work sweater patterns. Like you could.
Yes. She was both of my cool colors and my other Caitlin Hunter sweater is Sunset Highway. She was both my colors in that too. Love her.
I love her yarn. Okay, so mine is it's a kind of a navy blue. I don't know how well it's showing up, but this is Knit Picks Hawthorne, which is like a heavier fingering weight, and then the white speckly one is Lamby Toes yarn. Back when I could use it. Just kidding. And it's in the Winter J colorway, which I think is like my favorite colorway of anything of all time.
I think I'm knitting that into my northeasterly blanket right now. I think that's my knitting of the week. Yeah, from your sweater. What a coincidence.
That one was even hard for me to give as a mini. I'm but I think I have that colorway on 2 other bases in my stash of yarn I can't use. I'm kidding. I will use it. In fact, I've actually been thinking along the same lines as you of like, okay, what Colorworks sweater could I use this in or that, because I have so many single skeins of really, really pretty special yarns. And again, it's like, yeah, socks are great, but I don't know. I want it to be like showcased to the world.
Well, if you can whip up a Sunset Highway while you are teaching and raising 3 tiny ones in your spare time, then we can wear those matching sweaters next. I just think it's funny how similar they look, so similar on camera. And mine's charcoal and yours is navy, but and your contrast has more blue and mine has more pink, but they really do look like they could always be the same sweater in different lighting.
Well, they also, I've noticed I have a tendency to choose colors that are very close to like the picture that I like. So whether that's like the pattern picture of a sweater or like someone's project that I found or whatever, kind of a copycat that way.
That's interesting because I'm going to tell that same story in our works in progress later on about an inspiration sweater that I really, really loved.
Cool.
We should also, since you've already given a shout out to your tea brand, we could talk about what we're drinking. Should be a new thing.
Sure.
Yeah, I'm drinking Tea Republic. It's an almond vanilla blend, and I love it. It's my absolute favorite black tea right now. So for now, always change.
I'm drinking, well, I'm done with my coffee and it was nothing special at all. So it's just coffee, but I'm using my Lavender Lune Yarn Co. mug because it's my current favorite mug and she is one of my favorite dyers and she lives in Minnesota, so I feel like
right, shout out. I miss being able to go see that her yarn in person.
I know.
Someday. I told my family that I feel, how do I say, I'm cautiously optimistic. I feel like there's a 60% chance I'll be at ZK this year. We got our vaccines on the way. I think things will look up by June. And then my daughter had to go and step on all of my hopes and dreams saying, Mom, you know there's no way. Like, no, I don't know there's no way, and you need to be quiet. Do not tell me there is no way. I've already paid for the trip. We deferred our registration last year. At the time, the airlines were offering, they weren't giving your money back if you didn't travel while everything was locked down back then, but they did give you a year to reuse your ticket. So at this point, everything's paid for. So I'm cautiously optimistic that we'll be traveling again.
Oh, I hope so. I mean, and I've already, like, in my brain, we have this other trip planned where we're all going to go visit Tracy. And that's happening and it's planned and I'm like budgeting money in my brain for this trip.
Start budgeting in your account.
Yeah, I need to do that.
Yeah, we met at ZK. We've mentioned this before. And we are also very introverted. So we were the people who just ended up at a table together near the door so we could get out fast if we had to and get away from people. And we always say we're going to have this introvert retreat. And it's going to be, so I live in North Carolina. I'm right in the very middle. I'm 3 hours in the mountains. I'm 3 hours from the coast. And we have the best of both worlds surrounding us. So I'm going to pick them up in Raleigh. And then we're going to go way out of our way to Black Mountain so we can visit the yarn store in Black Mountain. And then we're going to hit the road and go opposite direction and rent a beach house and just hang out at the beach for a nice week. You stop at Warm and Fuzzy or Hillsborough Yarn on the way because there's a lot of good yarn shops right off of the interstate on the way to the beach.
We just need to go to all of them.
Yes, and that'll be our marketplace. And I had this great idea because a couple of years ago, my college roommate still lives right off of Topsail Island, and we go see her every summer while we're at the beach. And she took me to one of those wine and painting classes that one of her friends was running. So my idea then was for our excursion, that lady will actually come to our beach house and we can make a painting together. This was even before we did the one. If you look above Beth's head, there is an alpaca there. Alpaca or a llama? I think he's got the llama banana ears. I can't remember either.
Llama.
Yeah. We did this at ZK one year, but that was my idea was we would do this on our retreat even before we had that excursion at ZK. And so I was in the group chat. It's like, what about this idea? And Carrie said, or we could not invite anyone new to our beach house and just watch Bob Ross videos. I'm like, wow, we really are introverted.
In case you wondered how introverted we are.
Yep. We'll just watch Bob Ross videos and make our own paintings of happy trees. Yeah, it's gonna be awesome. We're gonna have the best time. It will happen. It will happen someday.
Absolutely.
Right, while we're on what will happen after the pandemic, we promised Grandma Cher that we would show off some of our masks and mask paraphernalia, and then we keep forgetting. But I did have my husband throw my purse at me before we got started recording, so I can show you two things. This is my absolute favorite. It's my favorite mask. And my friend Joy made this. She will not make one for you, she says. Sorry, because she, not you, Beth, but I mean anybody. She doesn't know you.
Not making one for me either.
Yeah, she does not enjoy making masks. So she made a few, and she said that is the end of her career as a mask maker. They do not bring her joy, and she will not make any more. But it's awesome. It just looks like this rectangle, and there's a part that pulls down to go over your chin, and if it's really snugly, a piece that goes up over your nose, and there's a wire, so it fits really, really snug. It's very comfortable. She used jersey fabric instead of elastic, so it doesn't pinch your ears. So I love these. This is not my prettiest one. This is my one that matches all my outfits. This is my school mask. And then I have a pretty one that's a play mask, I guess. And she even put this beautiful gray rose fabric inside, because it's the details, and she's amazing. But a game changer for me has been this really ugly piece of silicone. I think it's called a mask bracket, silicone mask bracket. If you Google it, I found this one on Amazon. They also sell them on Etsy, but the Etsy seller that I found was sold out by the time I went to go get one. So yesterday I had two appointments. I had an eye doctor appointment and a haircut appointment. I had my mask and I thought, well, there's no point of using the bracket at the eye doctor because I have to put my face up in that thing with my chin up against it, and it probably be very uncomfortable. So I didn't wear it, and I could feel a huge difference. So I was breathing in the fabric of the mask, and then I started feeling like I was going to hyperventilate. I couldn't breathe. And I know a lot of it's psychological, because when you breathe through your mouth, you have that fight or flight kind of thing happening. But I also have asthma, so I get nervous. When I feel like I can't breathe, I get nervous, which actually brings on an asthma attack. It's bad. I made it through, so I reminded myself, this is fight or flight. Just breathe in through your nose, and I felt better. But then when I went to get my hair cut, I put the bracket in and had no issues whatsoever. Talked to my man Scott the whole time about the election and all the things that were going to happen, because we have that in common. Yeah, I don't know if I've told everybody, but I know I've told Beth before. I have been with Scott longer than my husband. I introduced him to my husband. Now he cuts the whole family's hair. He did my kids' first haircuts. We have the videos. So yeah, we have a great time. And I knew I couldn't talk the whole time he's cutting my hair if I did not have my mask bracket. And I was completely comfortable the whole time. And this is what he did this time. Always go in there. He's like, what do you want me to do? I was like, Scott, there's no point asking. You're going to do what you want. And he said, that's true. And then he cuts it and he says, you look great. I'm like, yes, thank you. I know.
Love your side stories.
Ooh, my internet connection's unstable. So if we start looking weird or if Beth gets fuzzy, it's my fault. Take full responsibility.
So I have been using all my mask stuff, and I completely didn't think about it and left it all at school. But I guess I have some of my masks here I could have brought, but anyway. I have masks from the Fawn and the Fox, which are amazing. And they're similar, where they have that like extra kind of flappy looking piece that goes over the nose, but then the rest of it, it's like one piece kind of that's nice and fitted. And they're adjustable. I have found that I do not use the brackets with those masks because they're kind of like pointy, so they're far enough away that I'm not like, I don't feel like I'm breathing in my mask. And I've used, and I can, we can put links in the show notes for where I found the glasses spray that I'm using and the little, I keep trying to describe these things that I should have brought, but they're the little like plasticky things that will keep your glasses from fogging, which they're good for like a short time. I haven't tried to wear them like all day. But at work, so I teach and I'm in school, but none of the kids are in school. So when I'm like at my computer, I don't have my mask on, but then when anyone walks in, I put my mask, so I'm like constantly taking it on and off. So I think if I were to wear that little plastic thing and be trying to mess with it every single time, that would be super annoying. But the glasses spray is a total game changer. And I don't know what kind of magic it is, but you like spray it on your glasses, you leave it on there for a couple seconds, you kind of wipe it off, but you try not to like actually wipe it all off. So it, I don't know, makes whatever magical coating that is magic. I like the word magic today, I guess.
Yeah, like frosting.
And it'll stay, like I think I went from a Friday to a Monday without having to like reapply it. Because I thought, oh, am I going to have to do this like every 2 hours or something? That would be kind of silly. But yeah, so that worked really well. Like my glasses do not fog at all. So then I don't need those other things.
Awesome. Yeah, now also one more thing about the bracket, it has little clips to hold it into your mask, but it's easier to stick it on your face, like stick it in the mask and stick your mask on. And when I was trying to clip it, I was fussing with it too much and that did not work. And also, I think Joy, correct me in the comments if I'm wrong, but I think she said that this pattern is from the Confessions of a Fiber Addict blog. So if you're interested in trying your own, to make your own mask, check that out. And she also said in the text that the lady who runs the blog has a, again, correct me if I'm wrong, Joy, I think she's that lady has a daughter who's hearing impaired, and so she was experimenting with the masks that have the clear plastic, the clear vinyl window. So that might be something interesting to check out too. I know we've had mixed results with the vinyl window and the fogging and that sort of thing. So.
I made some like that originally when I thought I'd be like with kids in the classroom and wearing a mask all the time. And it did fog, but I wonder if I used that glasses spray on it, if it wouldn't fog.
Well, you'll probably have some time to find out eventually.
I could totally experiment with that. I would think eventually though, like the condensation would be all up on it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Yeah, if you've used a mask with a vinyl window, let us know. It's
Yeah.
something she should try with when she's back in the classroom. Oh, I'm nervous about that. I'm excited. I mean, because I feel like I told my class Wednesday, I said, I feel cheated. I feel like I have been cheated out of the chance to get to know you people in person because you're all so lovely. And when we do get back to school after the vaccine, but not before because I'm high risk, but after the vaccine, please stop by my room and introduce yourself to me because you're all so nice and I like you so much. I think I kick out of that, but it's just weird to have a whole class of students that you've never met.
Well, it is. And like, so everyone else at my school met the kids in person because they started in person and they went distance like right before I started. So we were playing this game the other day where we're all in our little morning meeting together and we were playing a game where someone would give clues about someone in the class and everyone would try to guess who they're talking about. And they started doing clues about like their height and they're like, well, I'm almost as tall as so-and-so. And I'm like, I have no idea because I don't know what you look like below like here.
And I know what their dogs look like.
It's more like this.
It's true. I put the camera toward the ceiling.
And all my kids are using iPads, so sometimes they do have it on the floor and we are just looking at the ceiling and we're looking at them like laying over the...
That's funny. So it was my class last year after we went virtual that told me like you need to make sure you have your camera raised up and focusing down on you so that you look small, and you have to, if you put it the other way, it makes your face look really big. And it's like, excuse me, like no, it's not. We're just telling you these are some things we've learned from Instagram photos. And so we had a conversation was about how to adjust our camera for the most flattering angle. I wish I had written it all down. I had no idea that I would still need to know this 9 months later.
Well, I don't know about you, but my laptop is sitting on top of a bunch of stuff.
Mine is sitting on top of the Lost Files of Nancy Drew, a coffee table book. And the best thing I have found in our little library in my neighborhood. It looks like it has postcards in it. They left the postcards in and put it in the little library. I'm so happy. All right, that's for another day. We'll do that another day. What are you working on, Beth?
Oh my gosh. I have had so little knitting time because not only did I start going back to work, which means I just, in order to get all the people ready and out the door and to the places, I have to get up at 5, which is fine. Like 5 is a reasonable time to get up in the morning. 4:59 is the middle of the night, in my opinion. So, because I was going to ask for advice on this, like how do people find knitting time with jobs and children and like, and it's not like we're even going anywhere or doing anything ever, but I only have maybe an hour a day where I have complete choice about what I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
So how do people do it? Like, how do you do the knitting? Because I'm not satisfied with the amount, with maybe 1 hour per day.
Yeah, let us know how you find knitting time in the comments. With me, when I was working full time and driving, I still work full time, but I was working outside the home full time and driving an hour and a half a day to work and back. That was a lot hard. I think a lot of people stay up all night. I think people are late owls. Night owls. We're not night owls. We crash pretty early. But also I would take my knitting with me to work. And I had this routine where I would get in early in the morning and I would have a vanilla sock and my cup of coffee. And I would take like 20 minutes as I got my day organized and do my stuff on my laptop while I have my vanilla sock in my lap too. And I would get so salty if a student came in early. I was like, this is my 20 minutes. And you can't say that to them, but in your head you're thinking, you're stepping on my time. Can you not come back once the bell, because we have bells that say we're going to be at an hour before class. It's 20 minutes before class. And there's so many bells they could have waited to come and ask that question. But no, they had to use my 20 minutes of organizational sit with my coffee time. We also have uninterrupted lunch at the high school too. Now, it used to be we had a 25-minute lunch and we spent 2 of those lunch periods on duty somewhere in the building. But now we have an hour-long lunch period and 30 minutes of that is protected time. And I would always have my knitting in my 30-minute protected lunch time. So I wonder if we'll still have that ever again. I don't know. Our schedule for second semester is still up in the air and every schedule we have looks crazy. And for every class we teach, we're teaching 3 different preps. So I'm going to have in-person kids who are on the hybrid plan, but not currently at school, and the 100% remote kids. So I'm going to have 3 lessons every day for the same, the same lesson for 3 different groups, and it's going to be presented differently. So when school starts back in the school building, I don't know what my time's going to look like. I think I'll involve a lot of sleeping when I get home.
It's strange. Like, it's a strange schedule. And the way our schedule is set up, I thought there would be plenty of planning time in between, because when you're teaching 7 and 8-year-olds and you're doing it all through a computer, the simplest thing that you could do in person is now like a process. So I thought like we had all these big kind of chunks of time where we're not technically like face to face on the Google Meet with the kids. No, it gets filled with like, they're asking questions and they're turning in their stuff and you're checking it and sending it back and parents are sending you messages, and it's like it's just like the whole day is like this, even with nobody in the room. But anyway, okay, so the point of me saying about like not having any knitting time is I feel like I've accomplished nothing in 2 weeks. And I have been bringing, okay, so this is my vanilla sock that I'm working on.
It's so pretty.
because I have this idea in my little brain that I want to knit Christmas socks for myself and all 3 of my children. And I'm like, is that a reasonable expectation? I don't know. But I have been bringing this to work, so I don't even really know how this happened because I don't feel like I've been knitting very much. So if I do, like, if I just need like a little mental break because it's just like I have so many tabs open in my brain, I don't even know what to do.
Yeah.
I'll just sit down and knit for a little bit and then get back to whatever it is I'm doing. Or like if I'm in a meeting with just like teachers and nobody can see my hands, I'm knitting because I'm like, I'm probably listening to you better than if I did not have my knitting.
It's true. I was trying to hide my hands under the laptop in my faculty meeting like earlier this week, and then I noticed one of my coworkers was just clearly crocheting her heart out. I was like, oh, the heck with it then.
I love that. So that's what I've been knitting on. And I've been using, okay, so the yarn is Coloring Book Yarns, which I don't think you can get anymore, or maybe the updates are just super sporadic. So I actually bought this off of D-Stash, and it's one of the Christmas colorways. I'm not exactly sure what it's called. And the heel and toe are from a mini that I think is from you, Tracy. I mean, it's definitely a Tracy color.
It definitely is, yes.
And I used, where did they go? Oh no. I'm using, oh, here they are. These 10-inch Andi Turbo needles, which I forgot that I had, and I was like organizing one of my messes one day.
Mm-hmm.
And so they're 10 inches and they have, so these are lined up at the join. So one of them is longer than the other.
Nice.
It's longer than the other.
What do you think of that?
I love it. And I wish I hadn't just bought a ton of high sharps that have the both short things, because when the way I knit, like I really hang on to the whole needle, like I think I've talked about before, but especially with my right hand, like the left one, I can kind of, when the knitting is actually on here, I'm kind of like holding on to the actual sock. But this one I need to be like holding on to the needle for the way I do it. So I can hold on to the whole thing and like do my thing. So it's just, I'm like,
that's interesting. So I was thinking if I had that, I would have the longer needle on my right hand so I could really grasp that end of the knitting. I think that's how I would want to do it. But I don't know why. That's just how my brain wrapped it. But when I knit with 9-inch circs, I just basically use my fingers, and I don't know how I do it. People ask me, how do you do that? I don't know. I just use my fingertips when I use these circuits. It's just completely a different way of knitting, I think.
You're a thrower, right?
Yeah.
And I'm a picker.
Yes. So for you, the longer needle on the left makes more sense, and for me,
I'm holding it in my right.
Oh, you're on your right too. Okay, I was turned around. Sorry. Yeah, I would have it in my throwing hand. That's what I was going to say. Do you have it in your picking hand, or your? Sorry.
What
is your picking? I guess that'd still be the right.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's hard to wrap my head around.
Yeah. So
also, I would like to just to give you a little hope that someday your life will be different. It's now 11:27 my time, and both of my kids are making breakfast. That's the sound that you're hearing in the kitchen. Is it your first meal of the day?
Yeah.
It's breakfast.
I love it.
So microwave sounds are coming up.
I don't want to rush their childhoods, but man, that sounds lovely.
Yeah, I got up this morning because I had to get up. I was just laying in bed, my head hurt, and I thought, I want to go back to sleep, but my head didn't want to go back to sleep, so I got up. People don't make me get up anymore. You look nice, Holt. He's dressed and ready for the day. He's going to his first social gathering since probably February. He might have gone somewhere early in March, but I'm not sure. They're playing outdoor paintball.
Oh.
I think I feel okay with outdoor paintball. We'll see. The dad described it, and it sounded okay. And so we're going to drive him there and pick him up. Doesn't ride in the van with the other kids. I feel like he's going to be fine outside. And I think you have to wear a mask to play paintball anyway. You know, and like suck in paint. So I feel like, you know, it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fine, isn't it? It's gonna be fine.
Yes.
Okay.
And he has to wear a mask or those things are gonna break his face. Man, people get like bruises and I mean I've never done it.
I'm really worried about that. That's what I get shot in the throat, he said.
That's the one spot that you don't cover like your nose or not.
Yeah. I hope these people like you.
I'm not sure if they do.
Do people usually not like him?
I just want shooting at your throat. You hope they at least mean it benevolently. I don't know.
That went right over my head.
Yeah, he's a pretty popular kid.
Sometimes.
He's struggling more than the rest of us with the pandemic because he is the more social of our family. We're an introverted family. He's doing okay, but he misses sports and he misses going out and seeing people and hanging out. And yeah.
Our social one is 4 years old, so doesn't even know how to manage herself to begin with. And then like doesn't know why she's a grouchy little bomb all the time.
You should explain it.
What?
You should explain it to her. Just sit down and explain, this is why you're grouchy, so you can. This is terrible. I'll make sure my daughter's not here. She doesn't watch the podcast. So when she was turning 9 or 10, or we talked about hormones, and I told her all about how someday she would be very grumpy. She wouldn't know why, and that would be her hormones. And so if she knew that was what was happening, she'd be better able to control it. And I felt like I'm the best parent ever. Why has no one else thought of this? And then she's probably 11, and she had this awful temper tantrum. It's like, Rena, do you remember what we said about someday you'd have these feelings and you wouldn't know why you were feeling so angry? And she said, oh, I know why I'm angry. It's because you all hate me. Okay. Like, okay. So that was a waste of my time. Hormones always take over reasoning.
Keep the parenting advice coming.
That's right. File that away under things that don't work.
Things not to try.
Yep. I'm also knitting on socks. It's Beth, and also mine work for our knit along as well. Yes. I also have Christmas socks. Oh my gosh, they're showing up so nicely on camera.
They're so pretty.
Aren't they spectacular? Yep. This is I think it's the Cozy Christmas Socks by Julianne Knitter. She's Twin Stitches Designs on, I think she's Twin Stitches on Ravelry and Julianne Knitter on Instagram. I'm not sure, but she has a lot of Colorworks sock patterns. And I modify a bit because that's just what I do. So it's supposed to be a 3x1 rib up here, and then for the rest of the leg and the foot. But I'm just going to do a vanilla sock, and I've tried it on. It's fine. And they're so cute. And my knit group was making fun of me. If you saw an Instagram post, you're probably wondering what the heck are these people talking about. But they do look like they're so nice on the front, but on the sides, they are totally giving each other the cold shoulder. So you can have friendly reindeer and socially awkward reindeer.
They're social distancing. They don't want to get too close.
So these are the reindeer in each other's circles, and these are not in their circle. There you go. It's a very 2020 sock.
How many stitches do you knit for a sock for yourself?
60.
Okay.
Yeah. So the pattern on this one was a 64 stitch pattern, so I increased to 64 stitches for the color work and then decreased back to 60 for the rest of the leg and foot. I love them so much. It's just some Barocco alpaca, and I know that I have trouble when I'm spinning a hairy fiber because the fibers get up in my face and I start sneezing and coughing and my eyes water. So I didn't think I had trouble knitting it because I have knit with some alpaca before, but probably this is the heaviest alpaca blend I've worked with. And I do notice that my eyes start watering while I'm knitting with it. So I haven't gone very far with them. I do love them. And I love the halo of the alpaca. I think they're gonna be so soft and squishy for Christmas socks to wear around the house. But yeah, probably not gonna be knitting a sweater out of this yarn.
No.
That is for sure.
Oh, and I forgot to say, this is for Aspen. So it's probably about the same size as Tracy's sock will end up. Because Because Tracy has
You're
tiny
like,
feet and I have
like a little elf.
gigantic- I mean, because I was like, oh, kid socks, they'll be so quick. And I mean, they are, but it's pretty much just a short adult sock.
Yeah,
This
pretty
is
much.
50. Oh, math. 54 stitches, I think I did. And I'm working on
So
the
pretty.
toe, which is why I'm back to. Is that how you do it? Do you do your toe?
Yeah, I'll do this. I usually knit toe up, and I'll do the toe on. I'm a hot mess, guys. And my knit group laughs at me about this. I like to do the toe magic loop, and then I'll do the foot and the leg on the 9-inch circulars because it's just so much faster. And I feel like I can carry it around with me. And if I'm having my 20 minutes of me time at school and then someone interrupts me, I can just drop it. I don't even have to be careful to put it down and over it. Just drop it. But then for the heel, I like to leave half the stitches on the little circular and put the other half on DPNs and just work back and forth across 2 DPNs for the heel.
And you do
Then,
it Witch Lips Kiss Heel, right?
yes, generally. Now these have a heel flap and gusset, so I'm not sure. We'll probably do DPNs, to be honest. We'll see. I'll let you all know. You'll be in suspense until I tell you. And then for the cuff, I like to do the cuff on DPNs. I don't like to purl on these tiny little needles. I don't like doing any purl stitches on the 9-inch circs, but
yeah, starting top down on that was tedious.
Yeah, I did. So these I did magic loop for the cuff since they're top down, but I'm mostly a toe up sock kniter.
So why don't you do the heel?
Why don't I? I don't know.
Because I'm like, I thought it might be awkward, but that's what I did, and it was not.
No, I just don't like. I don't like purling back on. I don't like purling on these tiny needles, so I'll just leave the stitches hanging on the circular needle, and I'll just do it back and forth on the DPN.
What's happening? I did something weird. How do you screw up a vanilla sock?
It happens. Are you making all of the kids and you the exact same socks? So the same yarn?
I'll let the viewers can weigh in on this. We're actually going to be, there are several things we would like your opinion about.
That's true.
So there's going to be plenty, and I wound it into a cute little gumball thing because I had to. So for the girls, so this is Aspen's. I'm going to do the same for Lulu, but I'm going to do a different heel and toe color. But then for myself, I really want to use this yarn.
Oh, my favorite. Well, she's way up high on the list of my favorite self-striping dyers. She may be my actual favorite.
So Tracy gave this to me in our yearly advent.
Yes.
Last year, I think.
And it's dyed by my good friend Erin of Rock and String Creations. She's in my knitting gang. I'll have to repost that picture. We took a picture at Into the Wool one year, and we all had we had made knitting tattoos with a Sharpie because we're classy.
We should get real knitting tattoos.
We should. Oh,
would
yes.
You do? I would.
I have 3 tattoos. I would definitely do another tattoo.
I only have 1, and I have it. Yeah, when I was 18. Okay, we are like all over the place, but kind of like that. Because that's real life. I haven't been able to figure out another. I've always wanted more, but I can't figure out what I want. And yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah. Well,
so I think
we'll discuss that off camera. Well, no, we'll be on camera because that's how we see each other, but we'll discuss that when we're not recording.
We'll update you on maybe that can be part of our excursion. That could be our excursion.
Oh, it could be.
Knitting tattoos. So I think I'll use this for myself and probably for Ronan. And Matt doesn't get Christmas socks because 1, giant man feet, 2, he won't wear them. I knit him, viewers of the Foxes and Socks podcast may
ask about those last week when he was hunting.
Yes, I knit him knee-high socks out of scraps. So they're just absolutely crazy striped. They are wonderful. And he says they're too warm. I'm like, that was the point, to keep your feet warm. So
why do you make me foot ovens?
I I've thought about knitting him socks again, but just like not knee-high socks and just like regular. And I asked him, oh, hey, what color would you want? And he's like, oh, well, just like use scraps like you did last time. I think he secretly likes the like crazy colorful socks.
Mm-hmm.
I think he does.
Nice.
What else? Do you have more?
I have
Oops.
one more. I've
Or
worked
do
a
you want
lot
to do
on
foes? Uh-oh, you're
blankets.
frozen.
It's gonna be, oh wait, this is my
What is that?
tall, awkward bag. One of my favorites. It was given to me by a tall, awkward friend. Yeah, I love this bag. It's really tall, and I can fold it over, and it makes a nice bowl. Internet connection's unstable again. Did I go out?
You're back.
Okay, okay.
You
All
were
right, so I was just
frozen?
saying, this is my tall, awkward bag from my tall, awkward friend. And
I'm the tall, awkward friend.
I wonder what the video will actually record on my computer if my internet's unstable. I don't know. You guys be the first. Well, my husband be the first to know because he is trying his hand at editing this week. We'll see how that goes. Okay, so this is my Julgran sweater. It's so cute. It's got a cable Christmas tree. It's supposed to be one of those really cropped, close-fitting, like 1950s style sweaters, but I'm not sure how the aesthetic will work on me at this age. So I've made it a little wider. It was kind of between two sizes. I didn't want negative ease, so I kind of made it to be about right, to be 0 to 1 inch ease. And I added an extra repeat of the branches at the bottom, so it'll be a little bit longer. I think I'm going to add another inch or two before I start the ribbing. It has a 3-inch long ribbing, so it gets really tight at the waist. And it's super cute. I thought about screen sharing my inspiration sweater, but I didn't ask her permission, so I'm not sure if I should. But she's put it on her own podcast and her own Instagram, so maybe it'd be okay. I don't know. My inspiration sweater was Michelle Bell. Miss Strawberry makes on. She's Strawberry makes on YouTube and Instagram. I think Miss Strawberry makes, but Strawberry Short Girl. She might be on one of them. She does a lot of things with strawberries, but she is Miss Michelle Bell on Ravelry, and she made this sweater mostly to pattern, but she put little pastel pom-poms as decorations down the tree.
Oh my gosh. And
she styled it with a little plaid skirt and a little purse that looks like a roller, not a roller skate, an ice skate, because that makes sense at Christmas. And it's adorable. So that was my inspiration sweater. She did the same kind of mint green color. And the story of the yarn is special as well because I wanted to knit this for a while, but I couldn't find, I don't want to put a lot of money into a Christmas sweater that I'm going to wear a couple days every December. So I thought the color I wanted was water green by Malabrigo. Do I really want to put that much into a Christmas sweater? And then someone in my knit group texted the group chat and said, hey, there's new colors of Barocco in stock at the yarn store. We met at a local yarn store in Mebane, the Twisted Knitter. And I said, does she have a mint green color? She's like, yeah, I think so. I was like, gosh, how am I going to get to the yarn store? Because yeah, you gotta make an appointment and then have your mask ready. And then one of my knit group friends said, is this the color you're looking for? This is Ella Ray. And it doesn't have a color name. It's color 95. And she had a bag full of this. And she said she bought it for something she's doing for her mother-in-law, and it didn't work out. So she delivered it to my house and left it on the porch. A whole sweater's worth of mint green yarn. So that was a super happy day. So thank you, Linda, if you watch, for my Christmas sweater.
Awesome friend.
But yeah, we have good people in our knit group. It's sad we're not going to be able to get together for Christmas like we usually do. We should have a big wine night at the local wine bar and celebrate and exchange gifts. But this year we've decided we're going to donate to our local food bank instead and then have a Zoom and drink wine together on Zoom.
That's about as good as you can get for an alternative.
I think so, yeah. But I will miss them. Right. Did you have another work in progress?
Well, I mean, yes and no. Seriously, I don't know. I just want more knitting time. And I was so spoiled, I think, because like in the summer, I have, well, first of all, I have more energy because, you know, you're not like I am taking care of kids all day, but I'm not working all day. So in the summer, between getting up early, because I would get up in the summer, I still get up at 5 because then I have like 2 or 3 hours of time by myself to have my coffee and do whatever. And before Ronan was born, Aspen had gotten in this routine of waking up like an hour earlier than Lulu did. So she would wake up and she would come down to the craft room with me and she would like play with all my buttons and like just, she had all these things she liked to do. And it was like this really special little time. And so I had that time to knit. And then I had nap time to knit. And I would always just have like a sock around so that if there were a couple minutes here or there, I could knit. And then they all go to bed actually at like 7:30, which is amazing. But I need to go to bed by like 9 to get enough sleep. And then I don't know how many times Ronan's going to wake up. So anyway, I had so much time and now I'm like, I have no time. Anyway, okay. I keep whining about the time I don't have. So I knit a little more on this vanilla sock and I kind of stopped because I think it's time for a heel. And this is Lavender Lune yarn in, I want to say it's the Stargazing colorway. You know what? I have my random basket of yarn labels because have all the potential to be a hoarder, I guess. Not that one. Not that one.
I don't have a basket of yarn labels.
It is called Stargazing.
Yay!
I'm going to keep it in the bag so we don't have to do this next time. And in the box of minis I just got the other day, yesterday, whatever day, 2 days ago, there's this little mini from One Twisted Tree called Forbidden Forest. And I'm like, ooh, how good would that be?
That would be pretty.
For the heel and toe, and I have no clue if it'll be enough, so it's going to be like a fun little gamble that I'm going to take without really thinking about it. And we're just going to see what happens.
Yay! It'll be a surprise for everybody.
Yeah, I've knit maybe a couple rounds on that. And then I crocheted a little bit on my blanket. So I have a marker in here, or a progress keeper to show where I was last time. So I haven't made tons of progress, but a row takes a pretty long time.
I would think so.
So from where the little progress keeper is to the top is what I've done.
I want to learn how to crochet for the blanket. I think I can do it.
Oh, you absolutely.
My crochet. So Connie Crochet Etc. showed me how to crochet at one of the Into the Wool retreats. And I was like, okay, so now I can single and double crochet, woohoo. And didn't do anything with it. And now I really want to make Rena the RBG ornament. So I practiced the crochet collar to see if I could do it. And I think I've got it. It might be wonky, but I think I got it. So that made me think I can crochet. I can do.
That's funny because I saw that ornament and I was like, oh, I have to make that for Tracy's package. And like, Beth, stop putting unrealistic ideas in your brain. It is almost December and you need to mail that package that you don't even have everything for yet.
Yeah, it's good. I got 4 balls to make 4 ornaments. So I'm good. That was the other thing I needed when I went shopping the other day.
Okay.
And almost killed. I'll tell you what, if you find out in 2 weeks, if Beth comes on here to make a very special announcement that Tracy's dying of coronavirus, that's what happened. Because that's the only time I left my house and it was terrifying. And I will not do that again.
Okay, I love you and I do not want you to die. But if you do, who gets the yarn?
I actually talked to my husband about this, about how to distribute it amongst my knitter people, that this is not garbage. This is not something you have a yard sale for. I'm talking about my yarn.
Joking, right?
My yarn and my comic books.
We should be talking about this.
No, we should not. But I have shown my children and my husband the yarn and the comic books and said, you don't just toss these things. So I have a really good collection of Neil Gaiman comics from the 1990s, the Sandman series and first edition things that I bought when they first came out that I think are worth something more now that I paid for them. Yeah. right. Oh, bye guys. Have fun. Be safe. Watch your throat.
Don't get shot in the throat.
All right. So
He's gonna have some
I have been working on my sweater a lot, and I finished it.
You should be wearing that. Forget matching sweaters.
So I wear matching sweaters as long as we can. But someday we'll wear yoke sweaters, and this will be the one I choose. Oh my gosh, I love that green. It's so pretty. And so I was talking last time about how this one didn't have short rows in the back, and I'm kind of used to Colorworks sweaters having short rows in the yoke. So I added some at the bottom, and then I still wasn't sure, because when I take sweaters out of my closet, I always hold up the neckline to see which side is deeper, so I know how to put them on. So I'm really thrilled with myself for this idea. I put a little faux leather tag at the bottom. It's a yarn ball, so that I'll know that's the front.
I love that.
Me too. We've got the ones that, oh my gosh, I forgot who it was. Someone gave us tags at ZK one year. And I have big hopes and dreams to put that on my boxy sweater that I was knitting at that ZK, but I have not done it yet. She's the lady who gives us really nice gifts every time. She's always like,
I'm afraid I'm gonna get it wrong.
me too. I would say, but I'm afraid I'm gonna get it wrong too.
Her Instagram name like Chocolate Cat Knitter.
That's who I thought it
like
was. So if you're wrong, we're both wrong. But I would thought it was Chocolate Cat Mom too. But she always has really nice, like little tins of Lolo did it stuff, and she always has a little something for every person who comes. It's really sweet.
Sometimes she has like a luggage tag.
Yes, I still use that. I use all of her gifts. She's a good gift giver.
Yeah, because they're practical, wonderful knitter gifts.
She doesn't know me, but yet she gets me. So
that's because when you're all at a knitting retreat, you at least know a couple things
you
about
have
each
one thing in common. If you have a luggage tag that says yarn, you've got someone who's going to want it. And I finished my Beekeeper hat. This was a long time coming, because I wanted to make something like this with this yarn since the old Foxes and Socks podcast went defunct. Because I wanted this in the fall, knit along, and then he delivered it to me at ZK in June. Remember that?
Nuh-uh. Really?
Yes.
Why do people trust me to do
You
anything?
had to make the bag, and it was worth the wait.
Well, I probably should have made the bag before the knit along was over.
Well, anyway, I love it. I love the bag. I love the yarn. I have enough to make one more beanie, so I meant to ask at our last ZK Zoom if anybody wanted the rest of it to make a beanie, because it's really warm yarn. I remember one of my North Carolina friends, this is Highland Handmaids, by the way. Heather from Highland Handmaids made this, and I don't think she's dying right now. But she was at the first SSK, and I had trouble getting to all the booths because that place was packed. And one of my North Carolina friends said that she really liked Heather's colors, but the yarn is more for people up north. And I was like, well, that doesn't make any sense. But I think it was really warm. It was a really woolly wool kind of thing where we don't need that. We need really soft and thin yarns. I'll try it on.
How cold does it get there?
It can get cold. Like it's usually a cold day for us is if it doesn't get above 30 something during the day. That's super cold for us. And it can get down to, like, it can get down to single digits, but it's not very common. I remember you laughing at us one time because it was 10 degrees, and so we had a 2-hour late start for school. It's because we don't have coats. We don't have coats that can handle that kind of weather. So kindergartners waiting for a bus when it's 10 degrees is dangerous here. So we just don't get cold weather. Just don't understand the concept of cold weather.
Well, Matt and I, okay, so because we're podcasting today, Matt and I were talking about you. I don't know what else. Because I said I think this is the last day we can wear matching sweaters, and I was all like, oh, Tracy has 10 sweaters for every one of mine. And he said, why does she knit sweaters? Like, does she even wear them? Like, isn't it warm there all the time? And he said, didn't she think it was like winter in June that one time when you guys
Oh, it
were?
was so nice that year. It was 77 degrees in June. This is heaven. Oh, that was wonderful. People ask me when I tell them I'm going on vacation to Minnesota, like, why are you on vacation to Minnesota? I was like, it's 75 there today. I'm like, oh, okay. We can hang out outside.
I think it was like 50 or something. Like it
Maybe
was
one morning.
it was cool and you thought it was cold.
So
And
nice.
so we made you.
Yes. And that is fine because it was lovely. I like that kind of cold. I've never felt the kind of cold, like people talk about this kind of cold that hurts, the kind of cold that kills people. We don't have that. Our cold doesn't hurt. The wind does. Sometimes it's cold, like we get it's really humid here, so we get a lot of the cold and the wind and that kind of thing. It's not comfortable, but it's nice. We went to the mountains one year on vacation in June. I think it was June, and we woke up the next morning and it was in the 50s. And I woke the kids up. I was like, "You've got to get outside quick. It's nice out. Put your sweatshirt on. You can sit outside in your sweatshirt." And I'm like, "Mom, you're crazy." But they did it. They put their sweatshirts on. We sat outside and just enjoyed being chilled.
I think I should send you a picture of myself every day in the summer in the morning of me wearing a sweater outside. Like it's like that. I mean, a huge portion of the time here. You really would. You should just move here. You really would.
I don't know. I think I'd freeze to death the first year, but I would enjoy the spring and fall.
It does get. I think of you all the time when I'm walking in, just like into work in the morning when it's really cold, and when you breathe in and it does like kind of takes your breath away, and like if your hair would be damp or anything, it would be like frozen. That's always kind of a cool feeling.
I don't like that. I do not care for that.
And I don't want you to like visit in that weather. I just want you to like experience it one time.
I had a college professor who took her kids on a trip to DC in the winter, and they stepped out of the airport and her kids started to scream, and people thought that she was being like, they were really concerned about him, and she finally got him to calm down enough to say what was happening, and he's like, the cold hurts. And she was from, I think she said she was from Michigan, but she had lived in North Carolina with her kids his entire life. He had never been anywhere that cold before. And she said, I was so embarrassed of him. But at the same time, I'm like, he's never experienced this before. And that's us. But most of my sweaters, the majority of my sweaters are fingering weight. So they're really super thin. They're comfy. I can wear them from probably October through April. Sometimes in May, we get a little bit of a cold snap. So I love them. I find them very cozy, and I like to knit sweaters. I just like to knit them. They're fun. But yeah, I'm not gonna make a ZK one year. You're knitting this really thick, bulky or chunky sweater. I just realized I needed more of this in my wardrobe. I'm like, I would never wear that. You remember that? You had a really thick sweater. It was a kind of natural color. Oh.
This is going to bother me. It wasn't like a dark red, was it?
I wanted to say it was a natural color.
Natural color.
But it could have been dark red. I don't remember. I just remember you saying you needed more of that in your wardrobe and me thinking, good God, that would never be worn.
Oh, this is going to dry. I don't have that many sweaters. What could it have been?
I would step out outside in it if it snowed and get a picture and then be like, gosh, it's too hot. Oh, we changed the subject, but should I tell them about my pom-pom? My husband said don't tell people on the internet about your pom-pom. So I told Beth, and she's like, you gotta tell people about your pom-pom. Yo, let me tell you about my pom-pom. I found it on the ground. I was at my son's track meet. It was probably 2 years ago. I don't know. It's been a while. He ran track in, let's see. So yeah, 7th grade. So it was about 2 years ago. And I was at a track meet, and I was up at the place where they sell the tickets. And I looked down, and it's like a gutter basically. It's full of leaves and a big white pom-pom. And I was like, that's a $10 pom-pom. So I put it in my purse. And then I got home and Googled can you wash a synthetic fur pom-pom? And one website said no, but another said yes. And I was like, what do I have to lose? It said wash it like you would your hand knits and wool wash, and then use a hair dryer to floof it. So this is not gutter pom-pom. Sorry I told that story on the internet, Michael, but it's a pretty good one. That's super cute.
You should start an Etsy shop, and it could be called Gutter Palms Incorporated.
I have to pay money for a gutter palm.
They're not gutter palms once they're clean.
Refurbished pom-poms. I have one in stock. This is it. That's my only gutter pom-pom.
Oh, my dimples hurt. Too much smiling.
Your dimples are too cute.
This is so random. Oh, thank you. Ronan has them. Oh, I hoped one of my children would get dimples.
My son has one right here in his chin, and he does not care for it. I think it's adorable. Oh, I forgot to show my bag for my Christmas socks. It's from the scrappy thread, and it's so cute. Got vintage Santa. I'm a big fan of vintage Santa. Collect vintage Santas. And Beth's got to make a Christmas bag too, because I mailed her my other Santa with a pink purse. Look at that purse. He's so stylish. And he's got the, I don't know, there's something about this Santa. He makes me laugh so hard. Like he's wearing Santa pajamas. I don't even know.
Excuse me. That reminds me. I have been working on 2 or 3 secret things. That's it. I have.
That's where your
been
time
doing
goes.
socks. Yes. So I can't show them to you for various reasons.
Mm-hmm.
One reason is that one is a gift for someone, and she doesn't watch the podcast, but I know her husband does. So.
Well, that could be me. I don't watch this podcast either, but my husband does.
Exactly. It's for you.
Oh, we're getting silly. We're not done yet.
Ooh, should I?
Oh, sorry, you cut out. What'd you say?
You go with your. I was going to ask if I should show the prize for the knit along.
Oh, yeah, you should do that, because we have been showing off our Christmas socks and my Christmas sweater, and those are all types of projects that are eligible for our Christmas knit along.
Ooh, here's the prize with the yarn inside.
So you could knit a Christmas sweater or Christmas socks or Colorworks socks that are not holiday themed, and tag us on Instagram and use our hashtag, which will be in the show notes. And this all could be yours.
This could all be yours. It was originally going to be this, I think. Is that what I said?
Yes.
Because I was keeping the pink for myself. But then when the bag came, I was like, well, forget the purple. Let's give the people this. But then I was like, well, I already said the purple. So let's just give the people, the person, all the things.
All the things.
Yeah.
Oh, so good together.
Yeah. It was something so pretty. And the bag has a little progress keeper.
And it matches the reindeer.
Oh my gosh, it's so cute. And a detachable strap.
You know how I feel about a detachable strap. They're important to me.
I know they are.
I like to carry my bags around. I gave my favorite bag designer a lot of grief about not having a detachable strap, so she added one.
Yep. And she needs more D-rings because she can't find any.
Oh no.
I thought about deconstructing some things in my house that aren't used. I'm like, I'm sure we have like random belts or like, I'm sure there's some around here somewhere. Not that she would need one for something she's making. Someone whose husband watches this.
Oh, you are nuts.
I think I'm so clever, and I'm.
Oh Lord. All right. So that's our knit along. And again, it doesn't have to be holiday themed, but it can. It doesn't have to be color work, but it can. It can fit one of those categories. And just tag us on Instagram with your finished project. And our tag, again, which will be in the show notes, but I'm pretty sure it's SK CC Cal?
CC.
KAL. Yeah. Pretty sure that's what I said before. And then after I wrote it down, I was like, why did I choose that? But it was already done. So that's what we got. I like the name of our podcast. Why did I spell it like that? I don't know, but now it's done. Right. I'm the person here who's been bragging the whole, like all 3 episodes about how I've been using my stash and not buying a bunch of stuff during the pandemic. And I've got a lap full of stuff. Are you ready for this?
I am, and I should tell you that I haven't been telling you when stuff is coming to my, I've got so much yarn. And I think I was like nervous about going back to work, and I just was like,
We're stress buying.
Funneling that nervous energy into pretty yarn purchases, and one of them is from Black Mountain Yarn.
Oh, I could have made an appointment and driven 2 hours to pick that up for you. It's like more like an hour, but.
So anyway, I don't know if I should show my new stuff or not, but you go ahead and.
You pick out a few new things that you would like to show. I'm going to show 3 new things because it's all I have. But I'm really super excited about the first one because my daughter, she will be 17 in December. She coined the phrase, "That sweater is sweating me," as an infant and refused to wear any of my hand knits. She had a cotton poncho that I made her when she was 3. And she wore a sweater dress I made her a couple of times. At least I got her picture in it. But every time I made her something, she'd be like, "That is sweating me. Take it off." She asked for a sweater. She actually said, "I want a sweater like this one, but hand knit." And so she said she didn't want it to be in wool because it'd be too hot. Like, kid, look. Wool is actually very comfortable. Acrylic, you're going to sweat in it because you're going to be encased in plastic. And she's like, "I just don't think it should be wool." So I found on Knit Picks this Kindred. It is alpaca and cotton blend. And it's super soft. There's a weird, okay, there's a hand on me. I hope that doesn't show up in the video. Not the pointing finger, it was like a hand. Anyway, so there you go. So Kindred, and she picked out this color, which is salt water. So I got,
Is it gray or blue?
Blue gray.
Okay.
So it is a blue gray. That's probably fairly close. No, maybe, I don't know. That's fairly close. Blue gray. Salt water. So I got 9 skeins, and she picked out a sweater. I can't remember which one it was at this point, but it is in my Ravelry queue. So I'm really excited about knitting her a sweater that hopefully she'll actually wear. And if she won't, I'll wear it. So I don't have to worry about it.
You go.
So there's that. She also wants to go to college someplace cold. She wants to go to college in the north. That's what she says. She's going, "Where are you going to go to school?" "In the north." So it'll definitely be colder in the north, and she'll need a sweater.
What does she want to go to school for?
What do you say?
What is she going to school for? Does she know what she wants to go to school for?
Well, at this point, she's really into sciences. We're looking at biology of some sort, microbiology, which is really funny because I thought she was my one kid that was, I'm an English teacher. She wrote a book in 7th grade. I thought, this is my one kid who's going to follow my footsteps because she's really good with language arts. And then she got to high school and became a science person. And I'm all for that. I'm not complaining. I really love the idea of more women in STEM. So I'm glad that's what she's chosen. But at one point, she's thinking about political science and politics. At one point, she's going to change the world and fix the mess that our generation made. And I'm all for that too, but we'll see. I really do think that Gen Z is going to really clean up a lot of our mess. Yeah, I'll give them credit for that. Right. So to get free shipping, y'all, because it's Knit Picks, I could either pay $5 shipping or I could spend $5 on something else and get it shipped for free. So basically, this here sock reel was for free.
What is that?
It's a sock reel. I'm ready to take out the plastic because I might never be able to roll it up like this again. Is it? Yeah, it's connected. So basically, it's a sock blank, but instead of being like a scarf, it's in this reel. So you just knit directly from the reel and you get socks that stripe in these colors.
But I thought you didn't like knitting the crinkly yarn.
I'm not a huge fan of it, but it was $5 and it's enough to make a whole pair of socks. So I'm out. If I hate it, I'm not out. I'm out nothing because this is basically my shipping right here. And my husband really likes Knit Picks socks, so he's going to get a weird sock reel pair of socks, or we could wear it as a belt.
Suspenders.
I made you these knitted suspenders because I love you. So no one has said ever. Yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. I'm gonna give it a try, but I have trouble with sock blanks because of that whole like ramen noodle texture as you're unrolling and knitting. And I'm going to try to overcome it and try this out eventually. It's not at the top of my list of things to make, but I thought it was kind of a neat thing to carry around a long steak and make a pair of socks out of it. And I have one more. This arrived yesterday and I'm so super excited about it. I won I haven't been on a winning streak for a long time with knit-alongs, but I won the Halloween knit-along. Yeah, I used to be really good at winning your stuff. Never won that grand prize of your favorite things. I was disappointed on that, but I did get
Good.
that was a really good giveaway. But check this one out. These are mini skeins.
Ooh.
They're pretty.
What
They
did
are.
you do?
I don't know what I'm gonna do. It's supposed to be. It says stripe your own socks box, and they're Nightmare Before Christmas themed. So
Cool.
each one of the minis is a character, and then the 20-gram mini is Cole. And oh my gosh, I forgot the dyer's name, and it's not on here. I have to look it up again because it's one of those British dyers I've always wanted to try, and just shipping is ridiculous now to get something in the US. And so I was so excited that I won that because I wanted to give those a try. And I asked her to let me pay for shipping, and she ignored me. As Down Sheepy Lane. Those are from Down Sheepy Lane. So yeah, it's like, it's exorbitant. I'll pay you for the shipping. And she's like, here's your prize. Thank you for hanging along. And I feel terrible. Yeah, that is pretty bad. But I'm so excited to try that out. I probably will make Halloween socks next year. We'll see. Right now, it's going to marinate in my stash. I'm going to look at them and think about how pretty they are all the time.
Stashes are good for that.
That's true.
Do you want to see some of my new stuff?
Yes. Pick out your two favorites. Hey, pick out the two closest to you.
Well, I'm going to hack it up. You can admire my part of my stash.
Look how clean her craft room is, everybody. It looks really good. It does.
It's not clean at all.
Did you see that called out in the comments last week for always saying, I don't want to show you my dirty craft room?
Yes, I did. I haven't read a lot of the comments, or I don't know how many comments there are, I guess. Oh crap. I got stuff from Knit Picks too. Oh, Lord.
So then I had to reply that she always says that her house is too dirty, and I don't think it's true because she made this big deal out of, she had to wash her windows before I could come to her house. I don't remember the last time I washed my windows. We washed them during the pandemic because we were bored. But before that, we may have never washed the windows before.
Would you like to know how many times I've washed the windows since we moved into this house?
Well, you don't have to wash them. You've washed them once. You're good.
Yeah, that's it.
That's how windows work.
And that was only the upstairs because you didn't see the downstairs, because at that time the downstairs wasn't really, it was just a dumping ground for stuff that didn't have a place upstairs.
I thought it was a hunting lodge.
Well, it's that too. It also turns into a meat locker for a month. That was a weird thing to say.
It's like, literally, or is this really cold?
They go deer hunting, and then our house is where they process the deer and make delicious food out of it. Okay, anyway. There's more than this, but okay. So this was my Black Mountain yarn because they were getting a restock of their exclusive to them colorway, custom colorway, that's what it's called, from Spin Cycle Yarn. I don't know what I'm going to do with it, but they had this great thing on Instagram where they were showing all of it all spread out on the table. They're like, oh, we have some with more pink and some like this and some like that. And if you tell us in the comments what you want, we'll make sure you get that. And so I told them I wanted like bright, bold rainbow with lots of colors. That's what they gave me. And I hadn't taken it out of the plastic until now. Oh my gosh.
Oh, that's so pretty.
And I just became a spinner and I have hand spun from Tracy. So why do I need more yarn that looks
Spin
like
cycle.
hand spun yarn?
It is spin cycle.
It's so pretty.
If you guys aren't following Black Mountain Yarn Shop on Instagram, you should, because they are lovely people and they have a beautiful shop. It's the biggest shop I've ever been into. It's an old furniture store that's now a yarn shop. It's gigantic. It's always called.
Is it bigger than Stephen B?
Yes. Yeah, not by much, but it is. They have an upstairs too. The upstairs, I've only seen them use for special shows, but there's one room that's your like fingering and DK, and then another room for the other weights, and got plenty of space to have big tables, and the knitting groups come in there and hang out all day. It's lovely. And the owners
So
are
we're
lovely.
gonna need some time when
Yeah,
we go there.
we will need some time. And Black Mountain is a beautiful place. You can hang out all day. We go yarn shopping. There's a quilt shop, but it doesn't sell quilt making materials. It actually sells quilts. We got burned on that. But that's fun to shop in too. There's a lot of really cute mountain touristy shops. There's an ice cream shop, a chocolate shop, a coffee shop. Restaurants are great. So Black Mountain's a great place to spend a whole day. But the owners of the shop are awesome, and they if you like bears, you should really follow them on Instagram because they constantly have bears walking past their security cameras.
Maybe that's why I keep having dreams about bears.
Maybe.
Pew, 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 pew. I keep having these dreams about looking out the window of Lulu's room and that there are these giant bears and they're just eating apples off of the ground under our apple tree. I keep having these dreams. But so, okay, when Ronan gets up in the middle of the night and I need to feed him, I have to stay awake, which is difficult for me. So I just like flip through stuff on my phone and I'm looking at Instagram and I'm always looking at the Black Mountain Bears.
That's what it is.
This is so strange.
We have a fox in our neighborhood. It makes a weird noise, and my husband thinks it's the next door neighbor kid. It's the fox. we had a long conversation about this morning. I know it's a fox because I was watching Midsummer Murders, and I had the closed captioning on, and there was that same exact noise, and it was captioned, call of a fox. And I was like, oh, that's what the fox is. And I hear it all the time now, so it's a fox.
Okay, I have more. Earl Grey Fiber Company. Have you ever used their yarn before?
I have not. I follow them on Instagram now because you told me I should.
Oh, and her yarn is gorgeous. And she was having a like birthday sale, so I don't remember what the deal was, and it's over now, so I guess it doesn't matter. But I saw this sock set, and I was just, I can't pass up a pretty sock set. It's just so speckly and wonderful, and
Very
I don't
nice.
have like any red yarn at all. Well, I need some red. Okay. So I got that, and then I ordered some things from Stress Knits when she had an update the other day, well, probably the other week now, I don't know.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't click through. I wanted to. I was like, no, don't need that.
Yeah.
But it's so pretty.
I got 2 skeins of Rust Belt. And then I got these 2 50-gram skeins. So this is her favorite base, which is like a fingering weight base. And then I got Mountain Mama in the 50-gram. And then I got this Palm Lines and DK in 50 grams because I don't know, I might need it sometime. And then I also got a Knit Picks order because they're like, Felice is back and it's all of your fan favorites. And I was like, hey, I'm a fan. Because I've always wanted this colorway, and it's the Lost Lakes colorway. And because they come in 50-gram balls, I was like, I can get one and knit a pair of socks if I do a different color for cuffs, heels, toes. And I really want to knit Ronin socks with this. I don't know why. I just think it would be so
That'll be cute.
So I have one ball skein, whatever this is, of that. And then I was like, well, then, you know, the girls each need new Felici socks too. But because I don't already have like 4 different kinds of rainbow self-striping yarn that I could choose from. So this is Cloudy with a Chance of Rainbows. And this is Punch Bug.
I've never seen any of those colors. I'm also a Felici fan.
Uh-oh, you're frozen again.
Oh, you're frozen on my side. Cute.
Am I frozen now? Am I still frozen?
No, you're good. I'm going to tell you you're frozen,
Okay.
so you keep doing that. Yes, you're frozen. Move some more. Oh.
I could be like my students who pretend that they, we have lots of like audio issues. So they'll pretend that they can't hear me and they'll log out and back in. I can't hear you, Lisa. What? I can't hear you. And then they come back and they're like, haha, seriously?
Totally tricked
We just
you.
spent 10 minutes trying to fix your fake technical difficulties. Okay. And then I got Rustic Cabin, and I got 2 skeins of that one
I
because,
like that.
yeah, that one's too pretty. I might need 2 of those. Isn't it pretty?
It's very pretty. I like that.
So yes, those are, yeah, there's probably been more. I don't know.
So we both fell down
It's
at
gotten-
nitpicks.
I need to rein it in. But
Same.
okay, that it's not really these purchases. There have been like 4 or 5 things that you have said today that make me extra excited about sending you your package. Oh, I'm so good. And I can get it for Tracy.
Yeah, we're definitely competing at friendship this year with our advent packages.
I love gift giving, and I
It's-
love shopping for you. It's
fun.
just so fun
to
and
shop each
easy.
other. Speaking of, you know, the knits we can't show, last time I had a knit that I couldn't show, and it was a Baby Yoda hat.
I should have brought that down.
Well, you should take a picture and send it to me, and I'll have Michael put it in. My husband is practicing putting in pictures, so we'll see how that goes. We'll try. But yeah, I got a Baby Yoda hat on my feed, and I was like, I know somebody nerdy who has a baby.
Oh
So,
my god!
ooh, whip
I
that
put
thing right up.
So cute.
I'm looking forward to seeing that. I think that's all for me.
Okay.
I think we should end by saying what is making us happy this week. Because it's Thanksgiving, you know, and they do something similar on My Favorite Murder, but they call it an effing hooray. We shouldn't call it that. It's probably trademarked. I'll let you go first because I have a lot of things I could say.
Oh. Well, I'm going to say something, and I'm sure you're going to say something like way better, and I'm going to be like, oh, my thing was dumb.
Nope.
But anyway. Also, I'm sorry if I talked over you a couple times because there were a couple times you're frozen, and I just kept talking, and I didn't know.
That's okay. I'm looking forward to seeing my computer actually records because I know, and I tell my kids and my students, Zoom, you're going to talk over people. That's how it works because you don't know when somebody's, but you can't look for their body signals when you're on the computer. It's going to happen. So it does.
Do we have a raise hand feature? We do on.
I think we do. Yeah. The screen share. We got all kinds of good stuff here.
Okay, so something making me happy this past week. That's what I'm supposed to do?
Or the past 2 weeks, whatever. Or right now.
Right now. Okay. Okay, I'm just going to say a couple. I'm really excited that it's only a 3-day week because Thanksgiving, we have Thursday and Friday off of school and off of work. So I'm looking forward to just like a couple days to just hang out with my family, catch my breath, get caught up on stupid things like laundry and whatever, cleaning or whatever. And I mean like baseline, like sweep up the food from the floor that the children have, like, when I say cleaning, I mean, probably the regular stuff people do normally, but I'm not doing that in my 1 hour. Forget it. Okay. So I'm just looking forward to that. And honestly, this past 2 weeks, I was really happy to be back, to be working again. Just that when I had Aspen, so like 4 or 5 years ago, I was afraid that I would want to be a stay-at-home mom. And then I would be so heartbroken when I couldn't, because we cannot afford for me to be a stay-at-home mom for the house we live in and everything else. I'm like, we need 2 incomes. It's just what it is. And I have absolutely no desire whatsoever to be a stay-at-home mom. So I felt very like fulfilled. I don't know, that sounds weird, but
purposeful.
Yeah, it's like because I am still doing the mom thing like all the time, like you always are. But now I'm also having meetings with other grown-ups and like grown-ups. Who even says that?
I say that.
And just like, and even though I'm not getting a lot of knitting time, I feel a lot of my creative energy is being used in my job, which I never really thought about before, but like there is so much problem solving and so much planning, and I don't know, I like all that stuff. So I felt really good to just be back at work, and my children have been so much happier and so much more pleasant now that they are back with people, which, because they're back at daycare, I have the choice to teach from home, but there's no way I could possibly accomplish anything with all 3 of them here all day long. So they are back at daycare, and and it's a home daycare, so it's not. So our bubble has gotten bigger that way, but I have no, I feel like I have no choice. I guess technically I do, but.
Well, yeah, and you have to, there's a risk assessment and pros and cons, and like sending my kid off to play paintball today. It's gotta make some choices about having quality of life, but still staying safe, and it's hard. It's really hard. Let's see, so I also was going to say Thanksgiving. I'm really excited about this. Is the first Thanksgiving that I'm going to do at my own house, just my family. Usually with the in-laws. So we're going to do our bubble is very small. We're going to stay at home, and I'm excited about it. My daughter said she always wanted like the nighttime Thanksgiving, like people on TV have, because we have a Thanksgiving lunch. So Thanksgiving dinner, if we can wait that long to eat, we'll see. Looking forward to that. And I told you this on our Zoom the other night too. What also is bringing me joy is the Arnie and Carlos podcast. I have been going back and watching their back catalog, and they make me really happy. They're adorable, and I love Arnie and Carlos. I have their Christmas balls to knit book. I've had it for 10 years. I've knit 2 balls on 2 different years, so they're not even a set. But I really, really love these guys, and they're going to do a Vlogmas. They're going to do a daily podcast throughout December, so I'm looking forward to that starting up too.
I was going to ask you if we should do something Vlogmas-like.
That would be boring. I would just show off my trees. But we're not doing anything this year for Christmas. That's mostly going to be staying home. We might go out and look at lights. So usually we've got all these traditions of Christmas in the park and going to this, like a cookie swap in the neighborhood. And we usually have all these things we do. And December is usually really stressful with basketball and all kinds of things happening. I think it's going to be kind of, I say boring, but probably is low key. Probably it's going to be nice. I could sit and enjoy my Christmas lights and a stroopwafel. You just love life. Yeah. Maybe I'll put some things up. We can do some solo stories.
And gears return. Okay.
Well, we hope something is bringing you joy this week also, and that you enjoy your Thanksgiving with your people and your bubble. That was a really interesting segment on the news last night where they were talking about what can we be thankful for this year, and a little kid said, maybe we should just say what has been the hardest instead of what we're thankful for. But they interviewed some people who are having a really rough year, and they talked about being thankful for having had good Thanksgivings in the past and having a home, and so hopefully everyone has something that they're thankful for. instead of just listing out the things that are hard. And my internet's unstable again. I hope this isn't a really annoying episode for everybody, but we'll find out.
You can turn it off.
Yeah.
Close that tab at any point.
And don't tell us if you have to do that. Just keep it to yourself. If you stayed this long and you haven't turned it off, I guess you're not going to, but yeah, we probably should put a disclaimer. If you can't handle it, please don't tell us. I never thought I was concerned about what people on the internet thought of me until we did this, and people will write on my Instagram all the time, just found your podcast, watching it now. I'm like, oh God, they're watching it now. What are they thinking?
Yeah. And I'm like, I don't know. I feel like I'm in this exciting phase of my life where I'm like, I don't care.
I thought I was there, but I'm not.
If you don't like me, why are you watching my podcast?
And on that note, we hope you have a great week. Please like and subscribe.
I will be at my house overthinking this for the next 2 weeks. So.
It's mostly people we love watching, so I think we're good. But yes, thank you.
Except for the sister I used to have.
Yeah, she doesn't watch. That's okay. She catch up on her Thanksgiving. All the back episodes. We'll tell her we hit Easter eggs in there for her. All right. Beth calls this a Minnesota goodbye. I'm not from Minnesota, but we do this all the time. My husband calls it a Vivian goodbye because that's my mom. But on that note, we really are leaving, and we will see you in 2 weeks. Bye.
Bye.
Can subscribe. Yay, can subscribe. Did you hold the button?